Welcome to Scottish Castle Ghosts, brought to you by bagtownclans.com. I'm Derek McDonald, your host, and today we'll be venturing into the terrifying halls of Glamis Castle. This ancient fortress, nestled in the valley of Strathmore in Angus, has stood since the 14th century and has been home to countless secrets, some too horrific to ever be spoken aloud. But today we dare to speak them. The following are four of the most spine-chilling legends that have terrified visitors to Glamis Castle for centuries. Are you ready to step into the darkness? 1. The Monster of Glamis. Our first tale is the most infamous, the Monster of Glamis. Picture this, a child born into the Leon family. So grotesque and deformed that even its own parents recoil in horror. The family's solution? Lock the child away. They bricked him into a hidden room, far from prying eyes, where he lived his entire life in isolation, unseen and forgotten. The monster's room was sealed after his death, but visitors have claimed to hear scratching sounds, like nails, dragging along the cold stone walls, emanating from behind the bricks. Some hear low, guttural moans, as if the monster's spirit is still trapped, trying to escape its confinement even in death. One chilling tale tells of guests hanging towels from every window to identify the monster's secret chamber. Yet, when they checked from the courtyard, several windows were bare, leading to nowhere. It said those windows belonged to the monster's room, eternally bricked up, yet always watching. Be careful where you wander in Glamis Castle. You may feel the monster's eyes upon you. 2. The Vampire Child. An even darker variation of the monster story brings us to the Vampire Child. According to this version, every generation of the Lion family produces a cursed vampire-born child. This creature, starved for blood but never allowed to feed, is locked away in the same hidden chamber. Eternally youthful, yet never free, the vampire child waits in the shadows, craving the warmth of life. Visitors often report an unnatural chill in certain parts of the castle, a cold that sinks deep into your bones, accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread. Some claim to hear whispering, a faint voice calling from behind the walls, begging to be let out. The legend says this child never truly dies, cursed to an eternal, hunger-filled existence, waiting for someone foolish enough to release it. Walk the halls of Glamis at your own risk. You might hear its desperate cries, or worse, feel its icy breath on the back of your neck. 3. Earl Beardie, the card player of Doomsday. Next is the unsettling tale of Earl Beardie, a gambler who paid the ultimate price for his arrogance. Earl Beardie, known for his violent temper and love of cards, once declared in a drunken rage that he would play until doomsday, or with the devil himself. That night, a mysterious stranger appeared at Glamis Castle, and the two began a game. As the hours passed, the atmosphere grew thick with tension. By dawn, it was clear the stranger was none other than the devil in disguise, and Earl Beardie's soul was forfeit. Since that cursed night, strange sounds have echoed through the castle's stone corridors, the shuffle of cards, the clinking of coins, and Beardie's anguish groans as he plays on, bound to the game for eternity. Some visitors have even caught glimpses of a shadowy figure hunched over a table, gambling in the darkened corners of the castle, trying in vain to win back his soul. If you stay too long, you may hear the eerie shuffle of cards, Beardie's invitation to join him in his eternal game. 4. The White Lady, Janet Douglas. Our final ghostly figure is perhaps the most tragic. Janet Douglas, Lady Glamis, or as she's known in death, the White Lady. Janet was falsely accused of witchcraft and treason, a political pawn caught in the rivalry between her family and King James V. In 1537, despite her innocence, she was convicted and burned at the stake, screaming in agony as the flames consumed her. Janet's ghost, however, did not burn with her body. She is said to haunt the chapel at Glamis Castle, her sorrowful presence forever tied to the place of her suffering. A seat in the chapel is always left empty for her, and no living person dares to sit there. Over the years, visitors have reported seeing a pale woman dressed in white, her face twisted in grief, walking silently through the halls or standing at the back of the chapel, watching with hollow eyes. The White Lady is not a vengeful spirit, but her presence fills the air with a cold, overwhelming sadness, a reminder of the horrors that befell her in life. Should you visit the chapel, tread carefully. If you feel a cold gust or sense a presence behind you, you may be in the company of Lady Janet herself, forever mourning her unjust fate. Conclusion. From the grotesque Monster of Glamis to the eternally cursed Earl Beardie, the haunted halls of Glamis Castle are filled with spirits that refuse to rest. These legends aren't just stories, they are warnings. The castle's walls hold dark secrets, and those brave enough to wander its corridors may find themselves face to face with one of its restless spirits. Thank you for joining me on this terrifying journey through Glamis Castle's ghostly past. I'm Derek McDonald, reminding you to keep your eyes and ears open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows. Until next time, stay safe, and may your nights be a little less haunted. Be sure to visit bagtownclans.com for more Scottish ghost stories. And if you ever find yourself at Glamis Castle, remember, some doors should never be opened.